Welcome everyone to the Stewart bunker here in Manalapan, New Jersey. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Stewart, I'm a rabbi here in Manalapan. As we start the Haggadah, I would like to introduce it, a very fundamental, I think it's the fundamental point of the whole Seder night. The Haggadah starts off, the Maggid will relate the story of our great times about 130 to 135 greats, grandparents, that's it, who were slaves in Egypt and left the land of Egypt, the land of Mitzrayim. The main point is the following. The world descended into idol worship. The recognition of the creator, of Hashem, of God, of the world was kind of dissipated, kind of lost. And there was one man who stepped forward into this void, recognized Hashem, formed a relationship with Hashem, with the creator and the almighty creator of the world. And his name was Abraham, our forefather. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God tells him, I am going to create a nation out of you, Abraham, out of you, Abraham. They will receive my Torah, they will receive my land. They will actually fulfill the ultimate purpose of creation by keeping the Torah. The question arises, why didn't God give Abraham the Torah to pass it on to his children? The truth is that it's a very simple idea, then we have no way of knowing it's true. We know the Torah is true because there were millions of people standing at Har Sinai and Mount Sinai, and those millions of people aren't just the mythical people, they were our grandparents. That's how we know it's true. If it was just one man, there's no way to verify it. But there's actually a deeper concept involved that we're going to address tonight. God couldn't give the Torah to Avraham Avinu to require his descendants to keep it, because the Torah is eternal. The Torah is the purpose of creation. An eternal Torah, an eternal law, needs an eternal people in order to carry it through the unfolding history before him, before Avraham Avinu. So in order to have a nation fit to accept the Torah, God needed to create that nation. And that is the fundamental idea behind the exodus from Egypt. The redemption of Egypt was God giving birth, birthing us, delivering us, not just delivering us from slavery, but delivering us as a newborn baby. As we will see, I'll show you from the prophet Ezekiel in chapter 16, literally discusses this evening as the birth process. Now, why did it have to be that way? Why do we have to be born? The answer is because we had to be a nation of the Torah, not Americans, not Israelis, not Germans, not Sudanese, not Indians, not Russians. We had to be Jews. What does Jews mean? It means the people of the Torah. Our nation had to be defined by the law book of God, by God himself, by the creator of heaven and earth himself, by the almighty creator and director of the world. He had to have a nation who was his nation. Now the problem is, how do you create a nation? And their whole identity is the nation of the Torah, the nation of the law, the nation of the revelation of God. Every nation is a product of its climate, of its land, of its topography. And that's what forms the identity. You can try to impose them on from the outside, other laws. How would God create us? Us as a nation, it's the Am Torah, the nation of the Torah. Not just, like we said, Sudanese or Russians who happen to have the law imposed on us from the outside. The answer to that is, if we would be slaves, we would be nobody, literally. We're the lowest of the low. In the caste system of Egypt, we were lower beneath, underground, beneath the lowest caste for us, for the slaves. We didn't have an identity as a nation. We were a people. We were a non-nation. We were a non-entity. Pesach night, the Seder night, is all about that God took us from being a non-people, a non-nation, and delivered us as a baby, as a newborn baby. And I will show you right now, straight up Sukkim, verses in the prophet Ezekiel, who tells us this. It's a wonderful resource called Sefaria that, along with Chabad.org, which we'll also be using this evening. The Haggadah that we use, the text we use, actually quotes a verse from Ezekiel 16:7. This verse is used to show that we became numerous in Egypt. And if you look here, and I highly recommend when you read the Haggadah to look at the sources. Many Haggadahs tell you what's being quoted, where the verse is from. It says here, towards the beginning of the Haggadah, of the Maggid, it says that we were numerous, as it says in Ezekiel 16. I've given you to be numerous as the vegetation of the field. And that's it. That's all it quotes. But if you look at that chapter, let's go to Ezekiel 16. If we go to Zechariah, we open up Ezekiel, it's 15, we want to go to 16. It says, Cheskel in this story was one of the prophets towards the end of the First Temple period, about 2,500 years ago. And the Jewish people were had descended already into sinfulness and idol worship and all sorts of bad things, which eventually led to the destruction of the temple. And Cheskel is imploring us to return to God. And he goes through history and he says, look, thus says the Lord God to Jerusalem, by origin and birth you are from the land of Canaanites. And then he says, as for your birth, when you were born, your navel cord was not cut. You were not bathed in water to smooth you. You were not rubbed with salt, nor were you swaddled. No one pitied you enough to do any one of these things for you. Have compassion for you. On the day you were born, you were left lying rejected in the open field. I passed by you, and I saw wallowing in your blood. And I said to you, live in spite of your blood. Yes, live in spite of your blood. And Pasuk Zion, verse 7, it was quoted in the Haggadah, I let you grow like a plant of the field, continue to grow up until you became many. And that's what Haggadah quotes, you became many, and became great in Mitzrayim. But this is referring to our birth. We were literally born. We were a non-entity. In order to be the nation of God, we had to have no identity. How do we have no identity? As we said before, if we're slaves. But God literally birthed us, and that's what the prophet Yechezkel is telling us here. There was no one to take care of you, no one to birth you when you were a baby. Who did it? God did it. God revealed to us the 10 plagues that He's in total control of nature. God revealed to us at Kriyas Yam, the splitting of the sea, and even a greater degree of revelation, where every single Jew was able to see the Egyptian who was punished exactly to the extent that he made the Jew suffer, that God is in charge of every little aspect of our lives. Then He came to us 6 weeks after the splitting of the sea, an open revelation to our great-great-great-great-grandparents, as we said before, about 135 generations earlier before us, and revealed to us openly that He is the lawgiver, He is the creator, He is the master of the world, but to follow Him. What God was doing was, He was taking a nation who had no self-identity, no culture, maybe a drop of culture, not much, and made us His nation. Who are we? We're not Russians, we're not Americans, we're not Israelis. We are the Jewish people of the Torah, the people of revelation, the people that God revealed Himself to. And that is what Seder night is about. Seder night is about recognizing that God created something out of nothing, a nation out of a non-nation, and that's us. We were created through His revelation, because only such a nation will be worthy to carry forth His purpose throughout history of bringing forth His Torah, His law book, His guide for living to the entire world, meaning the fullest purpose of creation throughout the unfolding history from that moment onward until today and moving forward. What happened after that? He revealed to us, gave us His law book, and we had 40 years of utopian and miraculous existence in the desert, of God giving us man every day to live, clouds of glory which protected us and guided us, miraculous well which provided us our water. 40 years putting into our spiritual DNA that God is the one who takes care of us, and God is the one who runs the world. After 40 years of receiving the Torah, of living, being fed literally by the hand of God daily, now we came into the land of Israel. Because there's no question that our ultimate destiny lies in the land of Israel. Of course we're Israelis, land of Israelites. Of course we are Israelis. But unlike other nations whose identity is formed by our land, and then the laws are created to conform with the society that we have and the life and the economy formed by that land, with the Jewish people, it's the opposite. After we are a nation formed with God's revelation to us directly, and through understanding that God takes care of us, and through getting a Torah, a law book which tells us how to live, now we can use our law book to properly know how to live in our land, in the land of Israel. And that is when we came into the land of Israel. And actually, it was upon that entrance to the land where Joshua starts going through history that the Haggadah quotes. As we look here, right in the beginning of Magid, when it goes through our history, it says originally we were children of idol worshippers, and then God took us to become His servants. Mitchila Ovdi Avodah Zarah, how you are saying this is from the Haggadah, the beginning of Magid, right after we talk about the 4 sons. And now, Hamakom means God. It says here in English, the place. It means the place of all. God brought us close to His worship. That is a synopsis of Seder night. We were nothing, we were idol worshippers. God made us his servants. And it says, as Joshua said to the nation, we actually quote Joshua. When we came into our land, Joshua telling him, 1 second, who are we? Now that we're coming into our own land of Israel, we're not Israelis. We are going to become Israelis. Who is going to become Israelis? The nation of God, the nation of the Torah, will now properly utilize the country of Israel. And then afterwards, Haggadah goes and quotes more verses which discuss us going down to Egypt and us leaving Egypt as a nation. So the idea again we want to impress is we are discussing our birth. As the prophet Yechezkel in chapter 16, Ezekiel tells us, you were born literally as a baby who had no one to care of you, and God is the one who birthed us, delivered us, made us his nation, and that is what we're recognizing tonight, this night of Pesach. In the next class we will discuss one of the tools God used to bring us close to him. And just to give you a little hint, it's actually hinted to in this verse here. I passed by you and saw you wallowing in your blood. I said to you, live in spite of your blood that you're wallowing in. And I said to you again, live in the blood you are wallowing in. What does that mean? We'll discover that in the next class coming up shortly.